Holy fuck. Okay, here, let me give you... Are you stoked or what, man? Good. It's going to be an awesome course. Who signed up? Fucking find me. Okay. Okay, so that's my older brother's, man. Yeah, he's a rock star, dude. He travels the world. Like Doors. Yeah, he's on freaking TV shows. He's recording with the fucking Strokes right now. Yeah, he's a full-blown rock star, dude. Gets interviews on, you name it, he's fucking there on it. They're killers. Yeah, dude. Like 10 years. No, they did it on their own. They're doing the anti-fucking, you know, yeah. And they record with the Black Keys. Yeah, exactly. And they're huge, dude. Yeah, but they're on their next album, they're gonna have to sell out. Yeah. Like, they got the fucking lead singer of the Strokes recording it, and like he's making it so professional, and it's getting pretty big time. Like they sell out all their shows. Like this 3,000-4,000 people will come, like huge. But they're just getting to that point where it's like the bubble's bursting, you know? All right, so I'm here. We've had a couple people join. Are you coming in? I just sent you the link. Yeah. See what happens. Yeah. What happened, Beta? Alright. Okay. Alright, he said check the fucking icon. Go back and read what he said here. He said, open Chrome, start the test lab, and look in the upper right hand corner of the URL bar. Mm-hmm. There's an icon. Click the video icon. Calling in right now. You're calling in? Yeah.
I can type in EPT. It's just going to cater me Alex Sheffrin results.
Yeah.
EPT. All right. So now it's showing me that Alex Sheffrin result because it knows that's what I was trying to find. It didn't figure it out the first time. It found it the second time, and now the third time I could be generic, but it still knows I was trying to find Alex. So
you're saying this artificial intelligence is getting stronger and stronger and stronger as it gets to know you better and better and better, and it gets to know what exactly you're thinking better.
Exactly. And then next time you search it, it already knows what you're looking for, and it's not going to show you about pregnancy tests. It's going to show you about the Entrepreneur magazine articles, you know.
Jeez, that's like just mind-blowing because, you know, these computers are getting smarter than our minds, if you think about it. Like they're going to...
That's exactly what it is. It's like really like, it's really artificial intelligence for sure.
Jeez. So basically, SEOs are going to become like AI experts in 5 years. You know?
Yeah, and I was even reading some stuff about email trends, and they're saying in 2016,
Hold on.
email list building and email trends are all going to kind of get to the point where like it's no longer about micro-sizing your list. You're going to be able to choose the paths people take after they receive the first email, and then that's going to segment the list for you automatically on automation. And that it's going to get to the point where like you'll be able to send somebody onto a list and then choose, hey, I wanted to go this direction if they responded this way. And if they don't open it, then it's like, okay, I'm going to change up the email, but it's going to happen on its own through the autoresponder system instead of you having to say, I got to get them on a landing page to opt in for this other list so I can change directions with them or something.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Basically, like right now, you have to do it all like hand by hand. You have to segment everything by hand. Look at who didn't, click on this link, and then put them in another list. And you're saying it's all going to be automated by very specific tasks, basically?
Yeah, they're saying it's going to be more and more AI driven for email marketing.
Yeah. Okay.
And they were also, what else were they kind of pointing to? They were saying Outlook is just getting like way dated and people are going to keep dropping it. They were saying Google is going to get rid of all the emocon crap in the subject lines in the spam folder. They're tired of it.
Wait, let's go into that a little bit. What do you mean?
You know how like you can actually send like the stupid emocons and the shapes in the subject lines of your emails inside Gmail?
Oh, emoticon. You see your accent. Emoticon.
Emojis, yeah, those things.
Okay.
So they think they're going to scrap all that soon because they're just it's gotten excessive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's childish. I think it looks just unprofessional, and it looks like you're not taking whatever's in the email seriously. It's like our whole world does not need to be run by emojis. We see them on our phone. We see them like everywhere we look. It's like there's emojis, and it's like, I mean, I don't know about you, but it's like it's annoying when all of a sudden like your texting is just emojis. That's how I feel about it. I'm just glad they're doing that. That's a good thing.
Well, yeah, there's a power in SEO, and it's all about creating content that makes the web a valuable place. It makes it a better place, and then you'll be rewarded for that. Like all the algorithm changes in the world aren't going to affect good quality white hat SEO techniques. Obviously, if you're doing a bunch of gray hat stuff, then when a Google slap comes around, it's going to affect your site or your assets or your content on the web. But if you just kind of do what they're asking, then it shouldn't be much of an issue. I don't think Google's ever going to slap you for having a YouTube video and a Google Hangout and a blog post.
That is true. You're getting smart. You're just sticking with Google, like you said. You stick with Google properties, build that trust within Google. I mean, so is there anything outside of Google that you like? I mean, do you like, of course, the Yelps and all that stuff for local businesses, but like what else besides Google properties are you optimizing on a daily basis for that authority and for that trust?
I pretty much stick to that trifecta.
Okay.
I do like Meetup. And then to rank the Meetup pages, I'll go write a bunch of links on different event websites and point back to the Meetup page. Trying to think what else I do. That's about it, man. I don't make it too hard on myself. But I'm sure you can do the press release thing. That's never going to hurt you. If you're taking ass at writing press releases that get picked up, then it's a fast way to get a shitload of backlinks and citation links back to your site. Because people are just going to cite you every which way for being the authority from the press release.
Exactly. I mean,
and then somebody just recently was like, man, it still works. If you just buy some ads for that term, Google all of a sudden starts ranking you for that term. And
yes.
And it trips me out because I saw it work for one of my clients the other day. We stopped buying ads for their name in their Google account, and all of a sudden Google put them on the first page, number one, for their thing, because they wanted to make sure that they stayed there, you know. And then we started buying ads again, and they took them down off of the first spot because they were buying ads.
Jeez.
So it was kind of weird, but I guess there's some truth to the fact that even now, if you're going to buy ads, you send the signal to Google that your site belongs there. And then if you stop buying ads, there's a chance they're just going to put you up on the first page because they think you belong there.
So
I mean, obviously, depending on the term, this is a low-hanging fruit term. It's the name of their company.
Yeah, but just make Google happy, give Google money, and they're going to reward you, basically.
In a way, yeah.
That's the path of the SEO ninja. Keep Google.
Yeah, my path is really do a Hangout, optimize it for the second best set of phrases. When it goes to YouTube, optimize it for the first best set. Embed that video on your website. On the blog post that's optimized for the same set as the Hangout. I mean, the same set as the YouTube video is.
Yeah.
So that all matches, and then cross-link from the YouTube description back to the blog post. And then if you don't make it to the first 3 pages, go do another one. And if you do make it to the first 3 pages, go do another one. You know, and the more often you know, the way I explain it is, if you want to rank for any one phrase, I don't care how hard it is, you know, you have to go look at the competition. You have to figure out what are they doing to serve the customer, because obviously they're not there by mistake. Google has them on the first page because they're actually providing the answers, the solutions. They're providing the products, the services, the information that people are searching for. So if you want to be able to get to the first page and beat those people, go figure out what they're doing right, and then figure out how you can do it better, and then figure out how you can do it better and more often than they're doing it. And chances are, anybody on the first page, most of the time, they're not doing the trifecta of Hangout plus YouTube plus optimize my blog post plus cross-link it all together, you know? So right away, okay, how do I do it better and more often? I just make a Hangout every day, optimize it for a good set of phrases, make a YouTube video from it because they're going to do it for me, go re-optimize the YouTube video, and then flip it around again and put it on my blog and cross-link them all together. And then after that, if you make like a little dent and you get to page 3, but you want to be on page 1, go do it again. Do it better and more often. Or come up with different ways to spin it. Or then you could worry about writing the links to the post that made it to page 3 to get it up to page 1. Or if you do make it to page 1, but you're not happy with the positioning on page 1, then you do it again to rank it higher. And then on that second round, I would just link back to the one that's already high enough to move it up higher, or to solidify that you really do belong there.
Yeah.
You know, like,
also, what I like about that too is that you can add another page to your personal website. So let's, you know, like you said, you can build out content pages. So, you know, you make a little Hangout like we're doing right now. When we finish with this, I'm going to make an actual blog post on my site. I'm going to write like a paragraph of content, embed this post on there, and bam, I have a full-fledged, you know, post for my website. So it's like, you're doing that 20, 30 times a month, you know, over a year's time, your website's just going to grow insane. And you're going to get...
Hell yeah, right? Because now nobody on the first page made 30 Hangouts that month for one blog post.
Exactly.
And welcome, Derek. Welcome to the blab. This is our first blab. We're testing it out. We're trying to get used to how the audio works. We're trying to figure out how to find the chat box so we can see what people want to ask questions about. Welcome. But yeah, we're talking about ways to send better signal to Google that you belong there. And, you know, along that point, Greg, like, let's say we did like we did today. We made a 30-minute to a 1-hour training. And then after that's over, we're on a 15-minute blab. And let's just pretend 70 people saw the blab, and 2 of them liked it so much that they wrote a link back to the blab. And then that got picked up, and like 20 other people grabbed it, shared it, retweeted it, put it on Facebook, and we're sending these social signals around. And then Google's like, well, your Hangout's now a YouTube video. Then you go optimize that. And now they're like, wow, you just made the internet a better place, and you made YouTube a better place. And then you go write that blog post you're talking about, and now you make Google search a better place. And now let's say we did all that. And then we're like, oh, we only made it to page 2. Well, we don't have to make another 30-minute training. We could, you know, it's Google Plus, right? It's a social network. we could jump on Google Plus and make a new Hangout that's 3 minutes. That's just like, hey guys, I wanted to let you know about the training we made yesterday. Go check it out. Here's the link.
Exactly.
And then link back to your blog post because that's the property you want to rank anyway, right? And then the next day you could do the same thing. You'd be like, hey guys, I wanted to let you guys know that we're working on these trainings coming up for this week. And in case you missed it, we have one about SEO. And then where does that audio search come into play? It comes in when you start talking verbally, spitting out the words you want to rank for, right? Like if I start my Hangout, instead of being like, hello, hey there, if I was like SEO Santa Clarita, and then I'm like, welcome to the SEO training, the first thing the transcriber is going to hear is SEO Santa Clarita, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways that you don't need to make more content. You can just make short little videos about the content that you've created. Those Hangout videos get social signals on Google+. They get put on YouTube. Now you have more videos to go optimize. All of those extra videos can just link back to the blog post that you really wanted to rank for. And then you just kind of go from there, right? And the same thing like we were talking about. There's that crossover that's going to happen more and more and more and more every year that goes on where SEO becomes like almost obsolete. And it's all about the connections that Google has shown or that you have shown Google that you already have. So if you're circled in my circle and you +1'd my Google Plus post and Google's like, wow, 70 people +1 that post, it probably belongs in the search. They're not going to not rank the YouTube video. They're just going to rank the YouTube video and the Google Plus, right? And so then maybe the +1 post, it gets on the first page also. Then tomorrow you jump on a Hangout and you're like, hey, I wanted to show you guys it's working. And then you do a screen share and you're like, to learn more about this, go over to my link. And then you're using your keywords verbally to tell them. And it's just like this never-ending snowball of creating content on the platforms that they own. Because none of us as SEOs really give a crap about Yahoo and Bing, right? I mean, think about it. How much traffic do they really have? You know, the #1 search engine is Google. Everybody knows it. The #2 search engine is YouTube, okay? So that means when people don't go to Google to search for something, the next place they turn, if they're going to type it in, is on YouTube. So if they're searching on YouTube, then give them content on YouTube to find it. And in that content, link back to the authority blog post that you really want ranking in the search. And then again, you know, back to doing another Hangout again, better and more often than the people on the first page already, you know, and just like rinsing and repeating that process. And you could take 20 different approaches to the Hangout follow-ups. You can make short trainings. You can make teasers. You could talk about what you just did. You could talk about what's coming and remind them about what you just did. It never ends.
It's like the ultimate Google spider web that you can just keep growing and growing.
You know, it's kind of like I call it the Google trifecta. And there's other means of doing SEO, right? Like there's all the gray hat techniques, writing links on all kinds of websites. There's the black hat shit where you're just going to like go out there and create link networks of C-level, B-level, and A-level sites, and you're going to write the crap on the C-level sites, and then you're going to write the decent crap on the B-level sites, and you're not going to link the B's to the A's with your keywords, but you're going to link the C's to the B's with the keywords, and then you're going to use roundabout ways to send the juice all the way through to the A site, or what Dory would call the money site. Like, if you have not seen the SEO Nitro video that Dory has, and I know Greg and I have watched it a few times, but if anybody listening has not seen the SEO Nitro videos that Dory has, where she flat out breaks down how a link network works and how to do it right, it's been there for years. And you know, it's not because it doesn't freaking work. It works. You know, and she even tells the story, like she had this site that I think she says it was her dad's olive oil website, and she was ranking really well, and she was doing awesome and getting a lot of traffic. And then one day Google slapped her, and so she was like, well, I'm never going to let that happen again. And so she just figured out how to build a link network, and so that's the way she went about doing it, and that's what she teaches in the video. So if you're not familiar with that, or you don't really know how the science of it works, she does a phenomenal job of explaining all the phases of creating this blog network that's going to be successfully driving what we call the juice, the traffic juice, over to the one site you really want ranking without getting them all slapped. And the way she teaches it is awesome, because if anything gets slapped, it's the C level and the B level sites, but it's not the money site, what she calls the money site, which is like the A level site that you really care about.
Yeah, because she's only linking to the money site, super authoritative links. You know, she's not putting PBNs heavy to the money site. It's like she's building that trifecta PBNs, not to her money site. You know, it's like she's the only thing going to her money site is, like, for example, the YouTube videos or her like her number one, you know, like her Yelp page or any of that kind of stuff. You know, can you tell these guys where they can find that?
I think it's SEOnitro.com. Let me check and make sure that's the right domain name.
No, I actually have private access to Dory's one of her 500 PBN networks, and she always talks about never point these actually to your money site. You know, point these to your tier ones, or even if you want to go crazy, point them to your tier twos, because it's like you're just kind of drip feeding that juice, you know, and you want the juice to end up all the way down into your money site. So you really just got to be strategically, you just got to have a strategy to get the link juice flowing, you know, through these authoritative sites and get the page rank up so you can just, you know, kill it with your money site. It's a good point.
Yeah, that's a really good way to explain it. Drip feed. I like that. That's pretty clever.
If I made that up, I'd be a millionaire. But
man, I wish it doesn't look like that site's opening, but it shows in the index, so I'm thinking that was the one that had the video on there.
So tell our users a little bit about, if they don't know who Dory Friend is or what she's all about with, you know, what she does with her SEO Nitro and all that kind of stuff. Maybe they can find it, you know, on their own time.
Yeah, look it up, SEO Nitro, Dory Friend. She's like one of the top SEOs in the world, you know, and Greg knows her better than I do. I just know of her, and I've watched that video enough times to just be like, this chick knows exactly what she's doing. Yeah. She ain't messing around, you know. She brings the heat, and she's not scared to create a bunch of content on the web that's going to give her the authority on the site she really wants to rank for.
Exactly.
You know, why don't you talk a little bit about POE and what that's all about?
Well, POE was an online course that myself and about 10 other instructors came together with, and Dory basically helped each of us put together a module that was going to train a specific task in SEO. And my course was actually the local leasing sites, or some people call them rank and rent. And so I was part of POE, or Page One Engine, and I taught how to build these local websites, you know, get them ranked high in Google and Bing and all that stuff, and lease them out to local businesses, you know, and just collect. So you just collect leads, and you just dump the leads on their phone number, you know, send them emails and all that stuff. And, you know, I think it's super cool because, you know, you're not doing all the client work for a client. You're doing all this work to build up your own assets. And when it comes down at the end of the day is, you know, do you feel good about spending your time, your money, your motivation on someone else's business, or on stuff that you own, stuff that you control, you know, stuff that's going to make you money for the long run? And that's why I love doing the rank and rent. So I had a great time. Dory's, you know, she's an amazing person. She's really helped guide us in the right direction as far as, you know, keeping on all the SEO trends and all the tests they're doing up there. We just keep on top of them. And, you know, I'm continuing to have a great time working with Page One Engine, and it's going to be a great year with the promotions we're doing. So with if you guys want to take a look, I think it's just pageoneengine.com. It's closed right now, but I think there's a free PDF download you can get where it just talks about, motivates you. Oh, sorry, my phone's falling. But it motivates you to just take action and just to get to know SEO and to figure out what you want to do with it. So just check out pageoneengine.com. So.
Oh yeah. And the other thing I was gonna say, oh man, I don't know why this thing is so hard to use, dude. They act like it's so easy, but it's like, oh, now I found the chat. Hell yeah, dude! You have to zoom out like a mofo to get the chat.
I've been in the chat the whole time, man.
Nice. I was like, why is there no chat, man?
Yeah, it's right there. But so yeah, no.
That guy that left said number 1 is better than number 10. Of course, number 1 is better than number 10, but number 10 is better than number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, brah.
Damn. See, you said that. Anthony said that right there. See, I think number 1 through 3 are money.
I think 1 through 3 are the best. I think as far as this guy says I'm crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
those are the same people that spend all their time writing links on shitty websites right there, so that they can rank to get slapped, and then they cry about why Google's making a new algorithm change.
So what don't you like about being in the number 3 spot?
It's not that I hate it. I just like, how many clicks are you going to get in the 3 spot? How many clicks are you going to get in the 10 spot? Probably about the equal amount. To me, when you're in the 10 spot, it's because they didn't find what they were looking for on the first page. You're the last one they're going to click on before they go to page 2. Nobody wants to go to page 2. Who wants to go search on page 2? They're more likely to just click on the search thing and type in a new search query. So, and you don't have to agree with me. I don't care if you have a different way of doing it. Like we said at the beginning of the call, Greg and I both do SEO. We use none of the same techniques at all. We both rank websites on the first page of Google all the time. So whether you like my style, I really don't give a shit. Okay, it works for me, and I've never had to worry about getting slapped by Google and my site ending up on page 50, and that's just the way it is, man. If you want to hire a bunch of backlink builders, do your thing, man. Write all the shitty links you want. Dude, there's plenty of crappy websites that you can write a crap load of shitty links to your site. Before I even knew what SEO was, somebody called me up one time and they sold me an SEO package. I didn't even know what the hell SEO was. I was just like, yeah, I want to get to the first page of Google. How does it work? And they're like, well, how it works is we're going to write, we're going to make sure that you're on the first page for any one phrase. And the way it's going to work is we'll actually only charge you if you're ranking on page 1 for more than 20 days of the month.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, we just charge you $100 a term, and all you have to do is pay your bill, and we'll keep writing it. And then I met my mentor, and I was like, hey, I'm already ranking on the first page of Google for all these terms, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, really? And then he started looking at the backlink profiles, and he started looking at the trust links, and he started looking at where are all these links coming from. And then that's when he taught me, like, hey, do you even understand what they're doing? And I was like, no, what are they doing? And he's like, they're just writing a bunch of shit links. And so sure enough, I went and looked, and there it was, It was just like, oh, you're a SEO Santa Clarita? What does that have to do with rainbowbridgeindia.com? And then you go over to Rainbow Bridge India, and it's just a bunch of blog posts. Attorney in, blah, blah, blah. Link, keyword link. Another one, SEO in, blah, blah, blah. Keyword link. So it's like, there's 100 ways to skin a cat, man. All that I'm saying is if you do white hat techniques, that's all I'm saying. If you do white hat techniques, okay, and they get you to the first page, Google is not going to slap you for making their freaking platforms used and better, okay? And the people that don't believe that are the same people that as soon as there's going to be a new update in the algorithm, they start crying because they got moved down from page 1 to page 20. And what are they going to do now? And it's unfair. Like when Google says they're going to do an algorithm update, I just laugh. Like, I don't give a shit. Update whatever the hell you want to update. If you move my rankings down, I'll just go write more content better and more often than the people on page 1. It's simple. SEO is simple. It's not complex. It's not difficult. When you start getting into building PBNs, that shit gets difficult because you have to be orchestrating what 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 different websites are going to do to send the juice back to the one you really want to get the authority positionings. So take for it what you will. I'm not teaching you anything that doesn't work because it's the only way that I do it. And I do it the same way all the freaking time.
Yeah.
It's not the only way. Like I said, Greg doesn't do any of the shit that I do. And he has no problem ranking websites on the first page doing it his way. So do it however the hell you want, Amazoo.
No, I totally get what you're saying. I mean, every SEO has their own way to get the job done. It's really interesting, and that's what's unique. It's kind of like it's an art form too. You know, it's like we're all expressing ourselves through the work we're doing, and it's all very unique, and it's all orchestrated in a very, very, like, we're building a spider web kind of with just whether it's content, videos, or images, or, you know, infographics. Like, it's just all connected for the money site or for whoever, whatever keyword you really want to rank. And that's why I really love SEO, is because it's not just plain Jane. You know, we're not accountants. You know, we're not here like, hey guys, I need you to input, you know, this data for the day, you know, do this 500 times over and over. It's like, that's not what SEO is about. You know, it's about coming up with unique content every single time on different websites, on different topics, you know, different keywords. So it's like, it's always different. It's always changing. You know, you're always got to stay on top of it. And it's challenging. Like, it's frustrating because once you feel like you've got it, then, you know, you go on your Facebook or you go on your Twitter and some guy's blasting some article on how he, you know, struck gold with this new secret strategy. And it's like, when are these strategies going to just, you know, come to and plateau where it's like, all right, I've got everything I need to know. I can just relax and just focus on what I need to do every day instead of, you know, just being so overwhelmed and, you know, trying to stay on top of it. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that it's challenging, but for the people who are the go-getters and the hustlers, you're always going to kill it with SEO. You know, you're always going to just outdo or outrank the people who are just stuck in their own ways, you know. And like you say, that's what you just said. We all do SEO different, you know. What you're doing.
Welcome, Lady T. Welcome, Brett. Welcome, Jonathan TK. Welcome. Who else we got on here right now? Ammon, I'm not mad at you, dog. I'm not mad at you. I know you left us early because you didn't like what I had to say about writing links. But that's fine. Doesn't mean that I don't love you, man.
So, no, if anything...
But yeah, man, it's like, I mean, even think about site structure, okay? That's never going to change. If you have a good, solid WordPress foundation with a good quality URL structure that you stack the category, and then you have the post, and you nest your pages so that you can go like domain name / page nest / page nest / category / whatever. Yeah, Google made adjustments because they hated those long URLs, but that doesn't mean that shit doesn't work. I write long URLs all the time. They go right up to the top because it's got the keywords in the permalink. And then what do you do with that link? You stick it in a YouTube video description. Exactly. What does a robot do on YouTube? They read the freaking link. They can't avoid the text that's in the permalink side of it. So it's like, some things are never going to change. Eventually, all of it's not even going to freaking matter because they're going to all only cater search results to the people that have shown Google they are interested in X, Y, and Z things, They have connections with whoever. They write emails to them. They hang out with them. They're circled in their Google Plus. They read their blog every day. You know, it's never going to be the one and only. There's no hard, fast, black and white way to do search engine optimization. You know, there's a million ways to skin the cat.
Yeah, and what I really find interesting too is like the better you get at SEO, the less links you have to create, because all SEO is done on the website as far as interlinking and setting up your page structure the right way with the content on it and how it's related inside the site, as far as, you know, coming up with your silos and building pages out and connecting the dots between the pages. You know, if you can get that down, you rarely have to build links to your site. You know, you could build a couple of your, you know, your Google trifecta links.
Trifecta.
Yeah. If you know, but my point is that the good guys with SEO rarely link build, because you got to realize an anchor text on your website is almost as good as an anchor text from a backlink, you know, coming to your website. Google kind of treats the two the same. So when you start having all these anchor texts on your site pointing to relevant pages within your site, that's when the money starts to be made. You know, Google's going to notice that, and it's actually, they prove it by if you log into your Google search, what's it called, Google Search Console or Google Webmaster Tools, and one of the tabs on the side, if you click it, Google knows every single interlink on your website and the anchor text. So they're studying, Webmaster Tools. So they actually can tell you more than you know about your own site, you know? So if you think,
and you just brought up 3 great points right there. Cross-linking. What is it worth to you to go write articles on other people's websites and link back to you? Well, you're going to get some of their traffic over. You're going to get a little bit of credibility. You're going to get a little bit of link juice from there. And all that is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But isn't it just as much of an authority, like Greg said, to where you could just write another post and link to each other, cross-link them together, and now you make your site more powerful. Welcome, Mark. Welcome. We're here chatting. We went on a little rant right there because people are leaving the room because they're unhappy with the way that I do SEO, but that's fine. I don't mind. Webmaster Tools is important. You know, local. If you're doing local, go optimize your local listing. You know, put a bunch of pictures on there.
Oh yeah.
Write a good quality SEO description. Put a link back to your site on there. There's a bunch of there. That's another Google property we hadn't even talked about yet, right? Google My Business listing. Okay, now you got 4 things that they own working for your site.
Yeah, really quick. Go over.
If you guys want to put some questions in the chat, we'd be happy to take questions, a little Q&A time, because I don't want to sit here all night and rant like an asshole.
No, Anthony, really quick. Will you just quickly mention the Google trifecta properties you're talking about, just to the new viewers, really quick, just 1-2 minutes about which.
Yeah, real quick. We'll snap through that. For those of you that just joined us, we're talking about what I call the Google trifecta. First, you make a hangout. You optimize it for your second best set of keyword phrases. Then Google does the work for you and puts it on YouTube. Go back and optimize that for your best set of phrases. Then go optimize a blog post on your blog for the same best set that you've made the YouTube video for, and embed the YouTube video on the blog post. And then put a link in the description of that YouTube video back to the blog post you embedded the video on. And that way you got like all the factors of 3 Google properties working to your advantage. And I just saw a video not too long ago. I think it was a Tim Ferriss video actually. And he was like, hey guys, you want to know this thing I figured out? If you put a link at the top of your description, more people that watch your video will end up on your website. And it's like so common knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Like what I've learned, one thing I've learned a long time is that the best marketing I'm sorry. I can walk through that again, Lady T. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what you're saying.
The only reason I went so fast was because half the people on the call have heard me talk about it for 15 minutes already. But I'll go back through that again. But, you know, what Tim Ferriss was saying, no, don't be sorry. We want to make sure you get the information. So what Tim Ferriss was saying is like, hey, if you have a link in the top, then that's going to help you out, you know, and they'll end up back at your site. And it's like the one thing I've learned over 6 years of doing this stuff is like the most common sense crap that you would overlook is the shit you need to pay attention to. You know, like
Exactly.
we all know to put links in the YouTube video at the top so that they get sites back. But here's somebody that makes millions of dollars, and they're like, hey, this is really important. Don't overlook this simple thing, right? And the more you learn about marketing, the more you start to realize the more simple it gets. It's the little things that you overlooked that matter a lot, you know? So
Exactly.
and let me just run back through that for Lady T, because I ran through it way too fast. She was a little confused.
yeah, I
So,
know, for sure.
step one, you need to make a Google Hangout. In there, you're going to optimize for 5 to 7 keyword phrases. So let's say you want to rank for, what's your niche here? She's an author. She's an entrepreneur. She's a business coach for moms. She is running your own business. Okay, cool. So let's say you want to rank for business coach for moms, mom blog business coach for women, business coach for women in your city name, right? Those 4 phrases, and then you can come up with some broads out of that, like just business coach or something like that, okay? So we're going to pick about 5 to 7 of these phrases. Some are long tails, some are broads. We're going to make a Google Hangout, and we're going to pick what we'd say our second best set is, which is like not quite as important as the ones we truly, really, really want to rank for, but we're going to borrow some of those other ones. So we'll pick our 5 to 7. I'm going to title our Google Hangout with the first phrase that we want to rank for in the second most important ones, okay? So like not your greatest phrase, but your second greatest phrase. We're going to write a description in the Google Hangout. That's about 2 or 3 paragraphs of information with some of our keywords in there, okay? What happens when we're done making that Google Hangout? Google does the work for us, and they go and put it on our YouTube channel. So the second thing we're going to do is, as soon as they're done putting it on YouTube, we're going to go edit that title and that description so it's not the same as the Hangout was. Why are we doing that? Well, you don't have to do that, but if you do, you just built 2 properties on the internet that are optimized for 2 different things, even though it's the same video, okay? So now when we go optimize the YouTube video, we're going to title it with the phrase that we want to rank for no matter what, right? So let's say business coach for women, okay? So we wrote business coach for mommy bloggers, or business coach for stay-at-home moms as a Hangout title, and we optimize for some of those phrases. Then we get to YouTube, and then we change that title, and we say business coach for women, because that's the phrase we really, really, really want, okay? And then we'll write like 3 or 4 paragraphs of content that's optimized properly with our keyword phrases in the description of that YouTube video. In the very first line, we're going to repeat the title of the YouTube video, and we might vary it up a little bit because we don't want to just be verbatim. It's almost a waste of space. And then the second line, we're going to put a link to our blog post. Now, before we hit publish, we're going to go write that blog post for the best phrase, the one about business coach for women. And we're going to write that blog post content for the same kind of information that we wrote in the YouTube description. So now we've done the Hangout. Google put it on YouTube. We changed the title in the YouTube video to the phrase we really, really, really want to rank for, and we optimize the description for it. Then we go over to our blog and we write a good quality SEO blog post, and we title that business coach for women, right? And then we publish that post, and we grab the URL, the whole entire long phrase URL, and we go put it in the top line right below the first line. So it'll be title, new phrase that we want to rank for, link, and then all the content underneath it in the description, right? Then after we've published that blog post and we put the link in the YouTube video, we'll click publish, and then we'll grab that embed code and we'll go back to the blog and we'll embed that YouTube video on the blog. And the reason that we do that, we just made 3 things that Google owns better. We made a Hangout video. They love that. We use Google+, right? We made a YouTube video with a new description and new link. They love that. We made YouTube a better place. And then we made Google search better because we just wrote an optimized blog post that they can index in Google search, all of which solve problems. Give me some slaps if that makes sense, on your little tappity tap tap high five thing. We're on Blab here. We're the SEO Ninja Secrets, and we're both SEO ninjas. We both do things completely differently, but we're here to share. Excellent. I'm glad that made a lot more sense. I'm sorry that some of you guys had to sit through that a fourth time, because I know we've said it more than once. Appreciate your patience, Derek. But please, guys, if you have any questions, type them into the chat. You can do the /Q and type your chat question there, and we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. And if Bible study was on here when I was dropping a bunch of curse words, I apologize. I don't normally just curse like crazy. I try to keep it PG for people that are easily offended by curse words. Not that you are or are not, but I don't want to offend. But we are the SEO Ninjas, and we're launching a new module training, and it's going to be called the SEOninjasecrets.com. And we're actually going to be recording for the next 16 weeks straight, and then we're going to put all that content into the website, and we're going to start a $7 a month membership site with week-to-week training on the SEO Ninja Secrets. So what are the SEO Ninja Secrets? Well, it's everything that I do, it's everything that Greg does, and it's everything that all our mentors have ever showed us. It's a whole lot of SEO tricks that the professionals that we learned from never share with anybody because they really don't want people using their techniques. We're just going to share it all. We don't give a crap anymore. We're sharing it all, giving it all away. Yeah, we have a few sites. You can I'll type them into the message box for you. This is my portfolio site. I just barely threw it up there. This is my blog. That's where you're going to find a bunch of my past episodes of Better Marketing Mondays. This is Greg's blog. Is that it, Greg? You have another site? Is that your only one? That's probably it, right? You know, so our goal is to share all the secrets that we've ever done, all the stuff we know works, whether it's 2 weeks old, 2 months old, 2 years old, everything our mentors ever taught us that they don't want us to share, we're going to share it anyway. We don't care. We're just going to give away all the secrets that we know about SEO. We're going to do it on a weekly basis, and it's going to be a cool membership site. It's not even opened up yet to the public, but there is a freebie giveaway over there if you want to get on the list so you can get notifications. And that's SEO Ninja Secrets. This guy said, what terms do your sites rank for? I don't know. Look up SEO Santa Clarita.
Terms like GregMontoya.net or just in general? What
I'm just saying, like, what terms do you rank for?
I personally never release my terms because it's kind of like you're letting all the eggs out of the basket. But
so at one point I had all 10 spots for the Santa Clarita WordPress, and Google just took away almost all of them. So I'll just go back and write more links. But if you go to my meetup page, you can see the screenshot of it. What's the easiest way to send you over there? I'll give you that link.
So who are some of your mentors, Anthony, just to explain?
Hold on one second. Let me find a link for this guy so he can check it out. Greg, why don't you talk for a while?
Finally, right? No, I mean, let's get back to the topic we're talking about, you know, why SEO kicks ass. I mean, a lot of people say, you know, paid ads is so much easier because you get, you know, you get instant traffic, you get instant results, you know, you can test your landing pages instantly and all that stuff. But, you know, while I do paid ads for the products that I push and other stuff like that, SEO dominates paid ads because, it's kind of like an infinite paid ad on the front page. Even if you're going after a local term, you're getting traffic every single day, and it's going to be consistent, and you don't have to pay for jack squat, like absolutely nothing. Whereas that same term could be 10, 15, 20 bucks a click, or even let's just say it's $2 a click, and you have to pay 20 bucks a day just to get 10 clicks in Google. I mean, what's better, paying what's that, 300 bucks a month, or getting it for free, and then just duplicating that process for other keywords, other variations of the keywords. It makes total sense to me to spend 1 or 2 months just going at it hardcore, building like the links you're talking about, doing content, all that type of stuff, and then just letting it go, just letting it rank like a snowball, and just letting Google trust it more and more. It's all about Google trust. Once Google trusts your site, it's just going to just love it more and show it more in the ranks. And there's nothing like it. All the paid stuff is great. I'm not talking smack on all the paid PPC guys out there, the strategies they're doing. It's amazing. But I think if you really want to have a competitive advantage and grow tremendously in the long run, I mean, SEO is the shot caller. SEO is the game. So that's why I think it kicks ass. I mean, you got anything to say about that, Anthony, about the paid ad? Because I know you got a lot of friends in the paid ads. Won't name any names.
What's his name here? Mark just said it perfectly. SEO is a long-term play. It's a legacy play, right? Paid ads is the short-term thing. There's nothing wrong with paid ads. A bunch of my buddies are killing it selling paid advertising to people as a service, because people don't want to wait. And they don't really care to deal with having all this content written all the freaking time. They just want to build a good funnel that converts sales, that it's like Don Wilson says, money in, money versus money out, right? If you're going to buy ads and you make 3 times your ROI on what you're spending, then run all the freaking paid ads you want, right? So I don't see anything wrong with paid ads. Some of my clients, they're spending $4 and $5 grand a month on pay-per-click ads. So, okay, never consider paying GoDaddy or HostGator to do SEO for your site. That's the most terrible idea I've ever heard of.
Let me talk about this for a second. Okay, I just lost in December, I think, 80% of my HostGator account, which was hosting, I think, 20 to 25 solid websites. Like, I'm talking a couple client sites, a couple money sites, some affiliate sites, some you name it sites, and it all just went under just like that. Basically, a hacker got into the files on the server, and it just leaked into all the folders, and eventually all the folders just had malicious files in it, which caused WordPress to just spin around in circles. And eventually all the sites just completely went down because, well, I'm not going to blame HostGator, but HostGator is so big that it's so hard for them to see cracks in their systems. And I had to start over on so many projects. I had to work with clients to get their sites rebuilt or gone on Wayback Machine and grab their content or their images. And honestly, since beginning of January until a week ago, it has been completely stressful for me in what I've been doing online with client work and stuff. So if your question, GoDaddy or HostGator, they're both great. It's just you got to realize, just have extra security on your site. Like for example,
no. Stop for a second.
Yeah.
She's saying she's gonna buy the SEO package from one of the hosting companies. She's not asking about buying hosting. Let's make this clear, just so everybody understands. If you're unsure, Lady T, hosting, buy trusted hosting. The trusted hosting companies are like GoDaddy, Bluehost. Bluehost owns HostGator. I personally hate HostGator because Greg uses it and the damn sites go down all the time, and I want to strangle him for it. But that's just me. I like GoDaddy. I like Bluehost. Hosting is great, and I'd love to bring this guy Mark into the call if we can let him have the open seat, because he definitely knows what's up. And maybe we could talk to him about pay-per-click, because he's bringing up some really good points that we could talk about there. Mark, can you click on the open seat spot and we'll let you in if possible? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Bring him in. Welcome, Mark.
What's up?
Well, that's going on.
So Mark was bringing up some good points about pay-per-click, and we're going to let him have the floor for a minute. But, oh, she's saying they will not do SEO for you. Yeah, just so you're clear, buy trusted hosting. Trusted hosting is awesome. You know, HostGator is fine. I don't like it, but whatever. I like Bluehost. I like GoDaddy. Okay, but don't pay those companies to do SEO for you. That's the stupidest idea in the world. Just so we're clear on that one, you're better off just following some other process that we shared, or do some research and figure out what's working for other people and how you can replicate that and do a better job than they're doing at it. But yeah, I would never recommend buying those SEO packages from those kind of companies. Never buy SEO from the Google local specialist that calls you on the phone. Never buy SEO from people in India that tell you they do SEO. You know, if you have a team offshore that's proven successful, then I could see you going out there and doing something like that. Always using WordPress. That's the only one that I prefer. I don't like any of the other platforms myself, but if you do Joomla or Drupal, I'm not going to knock it if you can rank them. I know somebody that only uses Drupal sites, and they do no problem. They have no problem ranking for the local terms they want to get found for. So Mark brought up a really good point about pay-per-click. If you're buying pay-per-click ads and you're setting up your ad campaigns, don't ever take Google's word for it when they tell you they can help you set up your ad campaigns, because they're not going to help you.
No,
Mark, you want to elaborate on that for a little while?
Their answer to everything is pretty much you need to spend more. You know, and if a test doesn't work for $500, you know, you probably have statistical significance. So, you know, throwing another 5,000 at it isn't going to improve the click-through rates.
We got another open seat if anybody else wants to jump in on the call here.
So, Mark, just talk about PPC versus SEO, like just your thoughts, like in general. Like,
I mean, it's different tools. You know, PPC is short-term traffic. You know, as soon as you stop paying for it, the traffic ends. And SEO is a long-term investment. I mean, it's an investment in quality content. Because, you know, I mean, it's one thing, you can do all the tricks in the world, but, you know, and if you don't have content worth sticking around for, it doesn't matter if you have, if you're getting a lot of traffic to your pages. So, I mean, it's SEO is the investment. It's kind of like the difference between direct sales and branding. If you're doing direct sales, it's a quick fix. If you're doing branding, the brand is going to have value that's going to last for a long time. We've taken a mixed approach, mostly, doing SEO, and over the long term, you know, we're starting to see better and better results from that.
Exactly, because it's like, you know, until like Google comes and knocks your sites down, it's going to be up there till the end of time, you know, and you're going to always every day just be getting, you know, herds of traffic for any keyword you want. So like you said, I mean, people always debate PPC or SEO, and a lot of the people who are debating that usually are just afraid of SEO, and they're just trying to badmouth it because they're so insecure, you know?
I don't fully agree with that, but sure. I mean, I think the two are different, and you use each as a part of an overall strategy. SEO is an important long-term strategy. But I mean, you know, frankly, PPC has the greater danger because you're basically bidding blind on keywords, not totally sure what you're going to pay, if it's going to drive traffic or not. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns with PPC. I think SEO is actually the safer bet.
I'd probably agree with that, because the worst case scenario, SEO, you spent a little bit of time, you didn't make a dent, you got to spend a little more time. Pay-per-click, you can make a mistake and blow through a crap load of money and get no results. And then it didn't tell you anything because there's so many damn phrases you could be buying.
Well, I mean, PPC, you have to know, you have to know, first of all, the keyword phrases that your audience is typing into Google. You have to have the content, and then that content has to convert them, in a short period of time without you having built any trust or fidelity with that particular customer. We're big believers in content marketing, and over a long period of time, we've built quite a bit of trust with our users, and that's that makes it a lot easier when we want to sell something because they already trust us. With PPC, assuming it's a totally new user clicking on that ad, you have no opportunity to build trust. So you've got to go into direct sales mode, which is why you see these these 5,000 word sales pages and all these other things that are maximized for conversion, but they convert once. They don't give you a long-term relationship with that consumer.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. My boy, they run Solid Search Marketing, and they manage a lot of freaking pay-per-click. One of their clients does spend a little over 1.5 million a year just in dog training related keywords on Google. Mm-hmm. And so they've busted that shit down to a science. And one of the things that they figured out was SEO and pay-per-click, two different beasts of keyword. You need to find broad phrases for pay-per-click and then run a crap load of campaigns, and they micro down their ad campaigns really tight and their ad groups really tight, and their keywords are literally broad, exact, phrase modified, and they'll scratch the broads, and then they try to figure out which ones are converting on what kind of page with the highest relevancy score, and then they build more and more and more and more, and they just go crazy microing it down so damn far. Totally different approach than SEO. If you have no SEO rankings, you got to start with the long tails because you're never gonna rank for the broads to start with, and like Mark's saying, you got to know who's searching and what they're looking for. So with SEO, if you have a content-driven strategy where you're building quality content often and building relationships with people that are finding your content, then they're far more likely to convert for two reasons. One, they have the relationship with you, but two, the long tail phrase is at the end of the search journey, right? So if somebody types in red hat, they're going to look for days trying to find what they're looking for. Then they're going to search for red hat size. And then they're going to search for baseball cap Cardinals red hat, right? And then finally, they might find what they're looking for. And with content-driven strategy for SEO, you're definitely going to convert those people because they found you in each phrase of the search. If you're really kicking ass at SEO, they're going to find you each time that they made a search until they get to the end of the journey. And by that point, you've convinced them that you must be the answer because you're everywhere that they're looking. Totally different approach than pay-per-click. Like he said, they're going to find you once, they're going to click, they're going to bounce. You're not going to make a sale. You're going to get billed for the click. And then you got to start all over again with fresh, cold traffic. And it's really about, like he was saying, you almost have to convince them immediately that, and that's so damn hard to do. And then on top of that, you have to have good relevancy, or you're going to pay more for the clicks. And you have to have really micro campaigns so that you're not paying an arm and a leg for like overdoing it. And if you're running the broads and you're not running the modifieds and you're not running the phrase match stuff, then all of a sudden you're going to be showing up for crap that you shouldn't even be showing up for, and you're going to be wasting a ton of clicks. Like that dog training college that they were running pay-per-click for. They spent a ton of money. I'm talking $1.5 million on phrases like dog training certifications, okay, for pay-per-click. And they realized after they brought in somebody that's like badass at doing pivot tables and spreadsheets that they were spending about $20,000 just in terms like hog training. And they don't even offer hog training. But Google was like, pay-per-click, hog training, dog training, good enough. Display their ad up there, you know? So that's when they started to figure out, hey, we have to make this about phrase match, about modified search. And I know this isn't a pay-per-click talk, so you guys are probably all just like, what the hell is he talking about? So,
I'm listening.
But, you know, there's a lot to it, and Mark's hitting, like, all the right buttons. So you guys should definitely...
I will tell you a part of paid search that I think is valuable, and that's when you have pixeled audiences.
What was that, Mark?
I was telling you, a part of paid search I think is, well, not paid search, but a paid paid online advertising that I think is valuable is when you have pixeled audiences and you're advertising to people who've already visited your site, things like ad roll, that kind of thing, retargeting. I think retargeting actually is the better choice. It's not as specific as far as keyword advertising, but you have people who've already been to your site who now are becoming more familiar with the brand and getting a second shot to go back and engage in some type of activity on the sites. We do a lot of retargeting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, retargeting is cheap clicks. I was just watching that guy Zach S on Periscope the other night, and he was showing his Facebook ad funnel for his challenge that he's running right now. And so I was like, hey, show us your audience. And he's like, I have no problem showing you my audience because it's not an audience you're going to copy anyway. And it's literally the only ads he's running is people that have been to his website, people that have been to his landing page, and people that have been to his thank you page. And that's it. So I totally.
Yeah, I mean, whoever pixels the biggest audience in 2016 is going to win in 2017.
Exactly. I felt like an idiot because I only started building my pixel list, I think, 2 months ago. And it's like I've been missing out. Like I'm talking about the Facebook pixel, just putting on your site. And it's like they say, the new email list is your pixel list, And it's like anyone can just install the Facebook pixel on their site and start growing a list. So, I mean, that's one thing that I recommend everyone doing. I mean, to grow your pixel list into, thousands, 10,000s, I mean, it's just going to pay off tremendously once you start remarketing it,
And it's free to build the list.
It's a free just code and just build it right now. Start collecting leads, basically. It's pretty much a lead, almost better than a lead. I think it's amazing. Retargeting is just amazing, Well, actually, Anthony, too, remember the conversion pixel. I read somewhere where Facebook's gonna cancel that out towards the end of the year, and they're just gonna call it like the Facebook pixel. So if you notice on Facebook, there's two. There's a conversion pixel and the Facebook pixel. So I would just start. Well, when I started doing this a month ago, I just started training under the Facebook pixel. I didn't even look at the conversion pixel. I don't know if you use that, Mark. Do you still look at all that stuff with the conversion pixel?
No, not. I mean, we actually. Are you talking about as far as the pixel code?
No, I noticed on Facebook they're starting to. They have a new thing called just Facebook pixel, and there's something called Facebook conversion pixel, and they're like, the conversion pixel is going to be outdated, in the middle of 2016. So switch over to our new pixel. So that's something I
haven't noticed that yet. I'll have to look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're getting rid of the old school one, and they now, instead of having like pixels for every account fan page, there's one Facebook pixel. It's going to be for all of the fan pages run from within that account. And then all you have to do is change this one small line of snippet code. I'll give you guys the access to this course, this raw access course that I started. But yeah, they're literally going to change it to where it's called the Facebook pixel. There's one code. It goes throughout your whole site. And then you only need to change one line of code for the variable pages like thank you, shopping cart, blog post, video, action this, action that. So they have like 13 attributes of what the page can be about. One pixel for all of them, one snippet of code you change. And they are going to get rid of the old school one in the middle of 2016. I'll paste the link in here for you guys to check it out.
And also one thing I've been getting into is the Google Tag Manager. I mean, it's hard to figure out off the start, but I've just been last month diving into it. And it's crazy because, you can install so many pixels through the tag manager on your website and just get those pumping as well, And even on your YouTube channel, it's amazing. You can have your pixel going on your YouTube channel to get that going. And it's you can remarket to people who watch, specific videos on your YouTube channel. So it's like, that's one recommendation that I would tell people. And I just started doing it like 2 months ago, is just get those pixels loaded up. YouTube, AdWords. I don't use AdRoll because I'm not that advanced with that stuff yet, but Facebook, pixel. Get your website loaded with pixels, guys. And also, too, you gotta, when you're doing all the pixel stuff, you gotta put those notifications like you see on those websites, like the disclaimers, all that stuff. So just make sure you're following the rules and just, you know, have a disclaimer page telling people that, you know, they're getting pixelated or they're getting cookied, whatever they call it, you know.
Does anybody have any questions? And Mark, I appreciate you coming into the chat room and sharing some of your knowledge with everybody.
Yeah, I'm East Coast. I'm going to bed, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Have a great night.
But yeah, no, the pixel it's the future, you know. Like we talk about SEO, but this pixel is amazing, just ridiculous.
Yeah, so I guess we could talk about that for a moment. The way that works, guys, if you're interested and you don't know how it does already, just give us a chat. Type 1 in the chat if you want to know more about Facebook. Otherwise, we're not even going to waste the time because this isn't really even about that. And then if you have questions, welcome Sheldon. If you guys have questions, welcome Jay Noack. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the chat or on the side, and we'll be happy to try to answer them for you. But yeah, the way the Facebook pixel works, if you set up the pixel tracking, anybody that visits your site, now you can build an audience of just those people, and you can run retargeting ads or remarketing ads, whatever you want to call them. Facebook calls them retargeting. Google calls them remarketing. For Google, you have to set up a pixel. It's a little bit different. They have one universal pixel for everything. And then that's a little bit of a beast. You're going to have to go into the adwords.google.com to figure that part out. But yeah, so the idea that Mark was talking about was the people that are going to win this year are going to send a ton of traffic to their site on pages that have pixels so that they can run advertising to those pixeled audiences of people. That way, you're running advertising to people that have already shown interest and visited your website. And he said that he's a big-time content marketer. So the way that they're doing it is write a bunch of great content, traffic goes to your website, they get a pixel put on them, you can run advertising to just that small list of traffic. Because they've already shown interest, the clicks cost hardly anything at all. And it's not cold traffic being introduced to you, it's people that have already shown the interest. So that's kind of how that works. But yeah, so we're talking about SEO, and we beat this thing like a dead horse because I don't know what else to share with you people. I'm running out of ideas here.
No, I'm getting kind of tired here. I think we should wind it down, you know, and make sure we'll get on here next week, same time, same place, you know.
Like here's a great example of people you don't want to hire to do SEO. I just got a Skype message. I am doing more SEO and want to place you on my high backlink PR4 and 5 sites. Ping me if you want to rank on SEO. Those are exactly the people you don't want to hire to do SEO for you. So yeah. So we got a course coming out. It's called SEOninjasecrets.com. We're going to be sharing our techniques that we use for ourselves, the techniques we use for our clients, and the techniques that we were taught by our mentors. It's going to be the secrets that they've shared with us, and whether they like it or not, we're just going to share them. So hasn't even come close to being released yet. We have the site up, and Greg has taken the time to put together a little freebie for you guys called 50 Citations. So if you want to go check that out at SEOninjasecrets.com, you can opt in for that citations book that Greg made for you. And we look forward to seeing you guys on some more blabs. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for engaging with us and asking some questions. And special thank you to Mark for jumping in the call and sharing some of your knowledge. Straight East Coast love there. And if nobody has any other questions, we can call it quits.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night, and yeah, we'll be seeing you around Twitter, around Blob. All those names just sound funny, but we'll be seeing you around somewhere on the internet.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Lady T. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, guys.